Guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the West Ham World. It's Luke. I said I'd be doing more videos, didn't I? Because now I'm off. Let me just sort the camera out, sorry. So, early this morning, literally about 20 minutes ago, West Ham have now confirmed that the right wing back can also play left wing back, play left wing. I believe he could play right wing as well. Kyle Walker-Peters, the former Tottenham, Southampton player, has now signed for West Ham. Good signing, good cover, and hopefully, can provide that utility player that we'll need when Wan-Bissaka goes to the African nations, when Diouf goes to the African nations, and if people like Somerville break down, maybe he can fill in there. It's another good option. It also gives Potter the sort of element of surprise throughout the season when managers are preparing for West Ham. It won't be necessarily straight away, oh, Ollie Scholes is going to start, or all Diouf's going to start, or all Wan-Bissaka's going to start a right wing back. It might be that Wan-Bissaka's playing centre back and you put Walker-Peters in at the right wing back role. Again, it gives us different options. I will be reading off the West Ham website, so if I put my head down, it's purely because I'm reading off the site. So, West Ham are delighted. Oh, we're going to put it up here actually, so it's easier to read. West Ham are delighted to announce the signing of England international Kyle Walker-Peters. The versatile fullback has 2 senior caps for England and joins the Hammers on a 3-year contract following his departure from Southampton. The 28-year-old, who is comfortable on either side of the pitch, has made nearly 150 appearances so far in his career and will add quality and depth to Graham Potter's squad. Walker-Peters will wear the number 2 shirt and is looking forward to linking up with his new teammates, getting down to work in pre-season and pulling on the famous claret and blue shirt. Please comment along, guys. Don't be shy. I always read out every comment. So what Kyle Walker-Peters has said, he says, I'm really excited. It feels like it's been a long time coming. I've been linked with a move to the club in the past, and I'm just happy to be here now. I spoke to Graham Potter, and he was a big, big part of making that decision for me. I always liked his style of coaching, and I think he will suit me. He spoke about the family feel at the club, and that's what I'm all about. I'd like to think I'm going to be a good fit at West Ham. I like to play with intensity, give my all in games, and I want to try and achieve something special here. Every team wants to win trophies, and West Ham have that ambition. From speaking to Graham, he wants to create something special, and hopefully I can be part of that. That all sounds good. So here's what Potter said. So Potter says he's been a long time admirer of Walker-Peters' game and is relishing the opportunity to work with him. We're really pleased that Kyle has agreed to join us, said Potter. He is a player I have always thought highly of and been impressed by whenever he has faced one of my teams. He is really good pedigree, a top professional who has established himself as a respected Premier League player and still has his best years in front of him. He will bring high quality competition to the squad. He's a good character and personality to the dressing room, and I'm really looking forward to working with Kyle, and I think he will be a great addition to this football club. He's 28, can play fullback, wingback. He's right-footed, and he's 5'8", for those who wanted to know. Hi, Luke. He's 5'8". I thought he was 4'2", says McAllister. We got anything else here? Kyle Walker-Peters has played more than 150 games in the Premier League for Southampton and won 2 senior England caps against Switzerland and Ivory Coast back in 2022. He was born in Edmonton, North London in April 1997. Walker-Peters joined his local club Tottenham as a schoolboy. In 2017, he won the FIFA Under-20 World Cup with England and made his Premier League debut for Spurs. After appearing in the UEFA Champions League in the 2018-19 season, Walker-Peters joined Southampton on loan in 2020 and then made the transfer permanent in the summer and went on to become a regular for the starting lineup over the next 5 seasons. Playing in either a fullback position or as a wing-back when required, Walker-Peters played over 200 times for Southampton, helping the club win promotion back to the Premier League via the EFL playoffs in 2024. His form at St Mary's caught the eye of Gareth Southgate, who gave him his England debut. Previously, Walker-Peters has been a regular for England at all age groups. Now he'll return to his home city and continue his career at London Stadium. Everyone at West Ham wishes him luck with his career. So yeah, so Walker Peters is a hammer. Like I say, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. What other comments we got here? David Turner says, "Morning, Luke. Morning, mate. Yeah, nice and early in it today. But yeah, nice to have a bit of news. Like I said, I will be back doing more and more videos now because I am off. Work takes the focus when I'm at work. I'm there, and obviously, you're teaching the PE, and you're working with the pupils to try and get them better. By the end of the day, you are really tired, so it's hard to sometimes get on and do videos. But when I'm off, I can really, focus my energy on the channel for these 6 weeks before I go back to work. Ad said sensible signing. I agree, mate. I agree. It's nice to have cover there. Players that can play wing back, players that can play full back, and that are comfortable in both. That they can play both roles. I'm just seeing if there's anything else on the West Ham website here. Just says about him coming from a footballing family. All about the early success, hat trick of Premier League assists, finding a home at Southampton and individual honours. Obviously, he's played with Ward-Prowse as well at Southampton, so Ward-Prowse probably would have told him about the club, and said, it's a good club, come and join, and hopefully we can do things. Darren Turner says some pace in the midfield next week. Yeah, that's it. If I'm on the okay, so we've got the fullback sorted now. Juve looked unbelievable yesterday. I know it's only a friendly. I know it's only grasshoppers, but from what I see, you could see that he's got that energy and physicality needed for the Premier League, and he's pacey. That's sorted now. Midfield, two midfielders as well. The midfield I see yesterday, Irvine, Rodriguez, Ward-Prowse in the first half, weren't it? No. We will get absolutely overrun in games. We need to have. Well, listen, we're not going to have a midfield on the level of this, but we need to be aiming to get to a comparative level. And I'm talking about, and I always say it, Newcastle for me have the best central midfield in the Premier League. Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Tonali. The balance, that's what it is. West Ham are not going to have the level of that. We've already got a Bruno Guimaraes. We've got Paquetá on form. He's as good as Bruno on his day. That they both can play at a very high level. We need, that Tonali-like player, that beast, and then you need the unit. The Diarmi, Chiati sort of player. And the players we've been linked with, I'm really happy with. Would it happen? Who knows? The Douglas Luiz one today says that Aston Villa are potentially interested in a reunion with him. I would really like Douglas Luiz. I think he would really add some I can never say this word, dynamism to our midfield. And then if you were to add in a Harvey Elliott, a Grealish, or a Fernandez, the Southampton guy, any of these sort of players, these names coming up, I like the names, which is, sometimes West Ham are linked with players and you're like, well, I don't know that one, which is not a bad thing. Sometimes they like Payet. Who knew about Payet? Who can honestly say they knew about Payet before he came to West Ham? And Lanzini, no one knew about Lanzini. I don't care who you were. No way were you watching the Dubai League or wherever we bought him from, But the names, yeah, and if we can get one of them in, or two, like I said, we need two. And then, as it says here, Irvin is a good squad player. Yeah, he's a hard worker. You need players like that. And a new keeper. Yeah, definitely a new keeper, mate. He was a bit wobbly yesterday, weren't he? And I like Cariola. I like him. I think he's an incredible shot stopper. But he is a bit crazy. But all goalkeepers are, they're all a bit mental. Anyone who want to be in goal and have shots, taken at them all day, you've got to be a bit mental to play that position. Michael Blee says, wing-back sorted for the AFCON cover. Good. Just need a pacey box-to-box midfielder. We lack pace. We need a box-to-box midfielder, and then we need a bit of... It's the balance, isn't it? You need the destroyer, the box-to-box, and the pretty boy. I think Douglas Luiz can be destroyer, part box-to-box. He reminds me of Tillemans a bit, that sort of style of player. You got Paquetá, if he stays, is the magic man. And you got Elliott, who can provide sort of both really. You know, he's got the ability to get forward. He don't mind getting stuck in as well. Or if it's a Fernandes, you've got the pretty boy players. Paquetá don't mind getting stuck in either, you know. Ed says, I was in Zurich yesterday. Diouf looked great. Finally, some speed on left. He did, didn't he? Some of the crosses he was putting in, he ain't shy of putting a cross in. If I'm really greedy, I wouldn't mind another striker as well. I would like a striker. I don't think we can go into the season with just Fulkrug. I like Fulkrug, but I think he will break down at some point. And I don't like Bowen up front. You just see it yesterday, you know, from his little bit that he did, cutting on the right side. You can't stop him. He's like Robin. When he gets going, he's so hard to tackle. Left foot's an absolute wand when it gets off. Like I say, got the assist yesterday. I don't want to see him up front. He's wasted there. His best position is on right wing. He's arguably in the top 3, top 4 right wingers in the Premier League. You know, obviously Salah number 1. You can argue where or whereabouts he stands with Saka. There ain't many in front of him in terms of his numbers and, you know, what he does, you know. What we saying here? Would you sell Alvarez as he could be the destroyer? I personally wouldn't. The only reason I haven't mentioned Alvarez in there is because it seems like he is going to go. But I would personally keep him. I would like to see Alvarez, Paquetá, plus, you know, an RB Elliott, plus a Douglas Luiz, or both Douglas Luiz and RB Elliott. I'd like to see. I thought Potsy looked good yesterday as well. And I did that in my review yesterday. But, you know, he's one I think will get his chance next year. Alfred looks really classy, really. He just, you know, he's got that. He looks like a footballer, you know. As a PE teacher, it's something we say about the kids. You know, there's certain players they just look like a footballer. They've got that elegance, the way they stand on the ball, they're calm. Now they always look like they've got loads of space around them. And it was great for Callum Marshall to get a goal yesterday. Hopefully, he gets a little bit of a chance as well. Alvarez is a destroyer, but does Potter want him? As I said, mate, not sure. I want to see a young Kante player, a bit more of Marshall, and he was great in the under-21s. Yeah, listen, if you can go and pluck out the next Kante, mate, you've made it. You know, you've sorted. But those sort of players, they don't come along often. Agurd looked happy, but he needs to improve his distribution. Yeah, I like Agurd. I do. I really do like him. Again, he's neat and tidy. Might need to slightly improve his distribution, but he's neat and tidy. Seems like a great character as well. You know, when Paquetá scored, he went over. He was happy that we was winning. You know, he wasn't like, you know, it's very easy for pre-season to, you know, feel very procedural. You know, like, oh, he's going to go, don't really celebrate, you know, like a little couple of high fives. But it was all lots of hugs, lots of happiness after it. It felt good, felt like a good atmosphere. I wouldn't be against him staying, but I can understand why we would sell him because, you know, if selling Agurd and maybe selling, I know Soucek's linked with leaving, but I'm not too thingy with Soucek. I don't know with that one. I think the goals are quite important. You can understand if they're the difference of getting a Douglas Luiz in or, you know, Harvey Elliott in, then you can understand why we are looking to get them out. Guilherme, not a wing back. He finds defending hard. Cornet did well. If he stays fit, bonus, he didn't get offside once. Yeah, Guilherme, I said that yesterday in the review, didn't I? I don't want to see him playing wing back. He's a midfielder. You know, I want to see him on the left or the right and really being able to run at people. The wing back role is such a, you know, it's a niche role where you have to be, you know, really disciplined defender and have the outlet as well. And defence is not part of the game, and he shouldn't be judged on that. And I'm hoping, you know, this ain't like a Moyes situation with, you know, the left midfield side of death where you know, Moyes sent players on the left to die. Hopefully, you know, Potter's not doing that with Guilherme and sending him in the wing-back role to die. Like, oh, what impact did he have in a game? What impacts has he had? He's not going to have an impact because that's not his position and that's not where he plays. You know, I'd like to think, you know, as social media's got better and the access that fans have got now, we realise that as well. You know, I think as a younger fan, maybe I was a bit guilty of, you know, judging players without fully realising, oh, actually, that's not their position. And, you know, as I've got older, obviously, you learn more and you educate yourself more in, you know, how positions work and how, how players can be made to look bad when really they're not. It's just that they're not being played right. Jared Bowen, if you put Jared Bowen on the left, he'd probably still do half a job, but he wouldn't look anywhere near the player that he does on the right. On the right, he's world class. On the left, he would look a good average Premier League player, probably. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Like I say, great news that we've signed another player. Hopefully, keep coming now. Prepare yourself for a sale, though, I think, again. There was all on about Kadoosh yesterday with his little assist that he did yesterday. Prepare yourself for another sale. I don't know anything. I'm not in the know. But I think we've brought 2 in now. I think another sale will come now before we sign someone. But those Harvey Elliott rumours are not going away. In the transfer odds, if you type in Harvey Elliott transfer odds, we are now 1-1 even to sign him. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's not going away. It's not going away. And Liverpool are going to spend a lot of money. Who knows? They could still go and get Isak. They're heavily linked with Rodrigo. So they'll want to recruit some money. Núñez will probably go. Diaz might go. And they might want to, there might be a deal there. There might be a deal. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you if you joined me live this morning. Please hit the like button before you leave. It helps us out. I've seen Gio mentioning that quite a lot, so maybe I need to start doing that a bit. Hit the like button. Would really like to get to 5K by the end of the summer. That's my target. Let's see if we can do it. Come on, you irons. Keep believing. Let's go.